like awesome. All right, today we do composites. And it's this weird notation. Okay, hang on, let me focus this because it's not focusing for you, is it? Hang on. There we go. And, is that better? And it's kind of complicated. Well, just hang on. That'll be better. There we go, that looks better. Sorry, it bothers me. Oh, that didn't work.
You have fog, golf.
Okay, fog and golf. Did your teacher ever say fog and golf?
No.
If they did, so down here on the bottom, just go down here on the bottom. We're going to write some notes real fast. For composite functions, if you see f with a little circle like a degree sign, g, and they do of x, that means that it is f with g of x stuck inside. Now does it look familiar? It's a composite, which means it has a function within a function. So whenever we do transformations, when we did like x minus 3 inside the squared, that's a composite function. This would be like x minus 3 squared. Is that a linear function stuck inside the quadratic function?
Yeah.
That's a composite. You've been doing them. You've been seeing them. It's not a big deal. So for every single time, this is the outer. That's the outer function. So that's outer. I much prefer this notation. This is my favorite notation, just so you know. All right, and this is the inner function. This is really important for anything you can go do after this in college math, pretty much. Oh, somebody let them in. All right. So anytime you're doing this, it's telling you the way you do this, you go from the inside out. Okay, so you know how a peppermint has an outer wrapper and then there's the candy inside? So this is like a peppermint. It's the inside and the wrapper's on the outside. And when they're making the peppermints, they mix all the ingredients up and they heat it up, right? And they make a peppermint and then they put it inside a wrapper, right? You got to do all the inner stuff first, and then you can wrap it up and sell it. And then we unwrap it and eat it. That's calculus. Okay? So every single time, this is the way it works. So let's go up here and let's see how some of these work. So for this one, they're telling me what the two functions are. So if I'm doing this, if the f is first, that means f is the outer and g is the inner, right? So I'm just going to write right here. So this is outer and the g is inner. So does that mean this is going to be the outer function, which is 2, put a parentheses, leave a blank, minus 3 and square that? Is that the outer function? And then you're going to put the 4x as the inner. Do y'all see what I did? So if it's fog, f is the outer, g is the inner. And instead of an x, what did they say do? So this is supposed to be x. What do they tell me to do? Take out the x and put in what?
1.
Put in 1. So then you're doing PEMDAS. Are you going to do the inner function first? What's 4 times 1?
4.
4. And then 4 squared is 16. Okay, here, I'm going to do it over here. Watch this. It's going to be, so I'm doing the math. So it's 2 parentheses, that's 4 squared minus 3 equals 2 times 16, which is 32, minus 3 is equal to 29. That wasn't that bad. Okay, what about this one? For this one, if we're doing golf, the G is the outer, and the F is the inner. I'm going to change this so that it matches my there we go. I'm going to color code it for you.
Should you be recording this?
I am recording it.
Oh.
I am recording it for you. Okay, so let's go with the outer. This time G is the outer. Does that mean I put the 4 and I put a parentheses where the X is, and I'm going to need a big X because it's a big function, right? And then are we going to put the inner function inside, which is F, put a parentheses where the X is, and what value do they want us to do the X, evaluate this at? 1. Steps are, write the outer function, leave a big parentheses for the inner. Write the inner function, leave a spot open for the X value to plug in, put the X in there, Now, work from the inside out. What's 1 squared?
1.
What's 1 times 2? What's 2 minus 3? So it's 4 times negative 1. What's 4 times negative 1? Negative 4. That was easy.
That was easy.
All right. What does F dot F mean? F is both the inner and the outer. Oh my. So let's. So now we're just going to do it equals. So we're going to go the outer, which is 2, leave a big blank, squared minus 3. What goes inside? The 2, leave a blank, squared minus 3. What goes inside is the so I need more room than that. Negative 2, right? Negative 2 squared. So I have the function inside itself, and I put negative 2 in for the x. Are we going to work our way out again? Starting inside, we start with the negative 2. Square it. What's negative 2 times negative 2?
4.
What's 4 times 2?
8.
What's 8 minus 3?
7.
5. What's 5 squared? 25. So I'm now to 2 times 25 minus 3. What's 2 times 25? What's 50 minus 3? Woo! That wasn't bad. Let's do G. Huh? G, yeah, oh.
C'est simple.
Yes, it is simple. So, do G inside of G. So what is G? So we got 4, leave a parentheses, and then our inner is going to be 4, leave a parentheses. What am I putting inside there? Negative 1. So what's 4 times negative 1? So I got 4 times negative 4. What's 4 times negative 4? Negative 16, and that was easy, wasn't it? Okay, that wasn't bad. So that's one thing we can do to you. We can give you functions and make you stick them inside and evaluate them. And you start from the inner and you work your way out. Or we can give you a table. And I will tell you why they do this table. Because in calculus, they make them do other things with this. And my darlings come to me in calculus and they can't do. It's so scary. This is so easy. I'm going to show you how easy this is. They've done the math for you already. You just have to do the right combinations. Same thing. We're going to say G, F is outer in red. We're going to say G is the inner. And this is going to be what our X is every single time. Okay? So I'm going to go to the other notation because it really is more, it really helps. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that this is F, and I need to put G of 1 inside. So what is G of 1? Go to X of 1, go down to G, what is it?
0.
That means I need to find out what F of 0 is. I'm going to take the G of 1 out and put the 0 in. What is F of 0? Now go to 0, what is F?
5.
So the answer is 5.
Oh, it's a puzzle.
C'est simple.
Yes. You just follow the directions. If I do G inside of G, that means I want, okay, I should have written this as, hang on, let me do color coding for y'all, because that will really help. This is really supposed to be F with G inside. So it's F with G of 1 inside, and G of 1 was 0. So for this one, I want G of 1. Have you already found G of 1? Oh, hang on, it's supposed to be blue. What was G of 1 a minute ago?
0.
So I need G of 0. What is G of 0? Go to 0. What is G? 1. That was easy.
Así de fácil.
Do y'all see how this works? It's not bad, is it? Let's go through some more. Let's make sure everybody has it. So for this one, I'm going to start. I want F, and I'm going to put inside G of 2. So that means it's F of, go to X of 2. X of 2. Go down to G. What is it equal to? So you go to negative 3. What does F equal? What? Oh, negative 3. I went to the wrong one. That was good that you caught that because my eyes were skipping. Oh, that wasn't hard, was it? For this one, I want f of 3. So what does this equal? What is f of 3?
-1.
So that's -1. Now what is f of -1?
7.
Así de fácil.
Will these be the easiest questions on the test if you practice it?
This is what the test is going to be like?
No.
Be questions like this?
There's going to be questions like this on the test. I'm going to give you all the math done and just see if you can put them in the right order. And can you read it? Can you read a table? Yes, it's easy. But will it be easy to data test if you don't do these and practice it? No. Should you practice these? Am I telling you for those who have struggle with my tests, should you make sure you can do this composite because this will be the easiest concept on that test. You don't have to graph any points. You may have to read a graph. We're going to get to that. Okay. Has everybody got the hang of this? Can I go on to something else because we have a short period today? How about we do more of this tomorrow? I'll do more. We'll practice more, but you got enough to get started, you think? I'm hoping so. Let's go to the next page. And speaking of graphs, okay, you know how I gave you a table up there? There's a table. Can I also give you the same information in a graph? Are those two functions? So instead of having it in the table, are you going to have to go read the graph and pick off the values? Do you understand what I'm saying? Up there, when you wanted F1, you read a table. On this, if you want F1, do you have to go to the red one and go to 1 and say that it's -1? Did you understand what I just said? Okay, same thing, right? So we're going to do A right here. So A, for A, is this going to be F, ignore the, sorry, I'm doing this, red is my outer. So F of, go to the graph. Which graph is G? Is it the blue or the red? Okay, in your case, is it the dashed or the solid? It's dashed. G is dashed. Go to G. I want you to find G of 1. At 1, what value is G? So we're going to go in here and we're going to go, oh, G is, what is it? 3. So we're going to put in a 3. Now, you're going to go to the F graph, which is the red one. Go to 3. What is its value? Right there, right? Am I going to go right here? Is it -1? That wasn't bad, was it? That wasn't that hard. Can y'all do that? Let me actually erase this. Let me do this in yellow so y'all can see that. Then I'm going to here. Let's do another one.
Wait, what A, B, C, D, do we...
I just did A.
Oh, okay.
Now we're going to do
We're
B.
going to do them all. Okay.
We're going to do enough of them, hopefully. So I want G. G's my outer one. And I need the F of -1. Am I going to agree? So it's actually, let's color code this different. Let me color code it to match the graphs. How's that? Would that help? Oh, actually, that one was fine. But anyway, so F was the red one. And G was the blue one. So where did we get for that? We got to 3, right? And then we got to F of 3 equals -1. So for B, we got G on the outside, so we got blue on the outside, G, and we got F on the inside, so go to the F graph and find me what -1 equals. So go to the F graph, which is the red one, go to -1, what is the Y? Go to the, on the red graph, go to -1 for X, go up to Y, what's the Y value? 1. So now I have G, oops, don't want that. Wait, what? You need to pay attention.
I am.
Okay. So did we go up to, on the red graph, did we go to a -1 and find that the Y is 1? So we're going to take out the F of -1 and put in 1. Now I want G of 1. Are we going to switch to the blue graph or the dash graph? So go to 1. What's its value? Did we already do this once? No, go to 1. It's 3. You have to read a graph twice. That's as hard as it gets. For C, it's G, and now I want f of 0. Go to the red solid graph, the absolute value. Does that look like absolute value? What are those functions? Is this an absolute value shifted, and is that a parabola? I mean, a quadratic shifted. Parabola also works, but we haven't got to conic sections, so call it a quadratic for now. Okay. Go to the absolute value function. What is f of 0? 0. So then I want g of 0. What is g of 0?
8.
Mm-hmm.
Así de fácil.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. D. Now the rest of you need to say yes. I have 2 yeses. I want f is the red or the solid function, and g is the blue on mine one, or the dashed function. So go on the parabola, the quadratic, go to 4, what's the value? 0. So does this mean I want f of 0, and what is f of 0? 0.
That was easy.
Okay, so can y'all do that? So I can give you just function notation and functions, you can figure it out. I can give you a table, that's easy. I can give you a graph, you just have to read the graph. But wait, there's more. All right, you're finding the domain of each of the composites. So what we're doing is we're putting one inside the other, and then we're looking at it. Okay? So when we do this, so if I want, this is the outer, remember this is outer, I'm just going to put an O, and this is the inner, right? So I'm going to start with F, so I'm going to go, okay, so for F, so I've got F, and then I'm going to put the G of X inside. Is this what we're doing? So F is what? It's 1 over stuff. And what's G? Square root of x minus 1. Is everything hunky-dory on that until we get to 0? You cannot have x equals 0, can you? Do you all agree to that? Because if I have division by 0, that's undefined, right? So no division by 0. Since can't have 0, that means x minus 1 cannot equal 0. That means x cannot equal 1. Agreed? What else is true? Does that radical have to be positive? Does x minus 1 have to be greater than 0? Agreed? It has to be positive. It can be greater than or equal to, but I already said 1 is not included, right? X cannot equal 1. So I know it's greater than 1. Does that mean x is greater than 1? So is this does that domain all the points greater than 1? How do we write that when we're doing that little, in that it's from 1, not including 1, to infinity? Is that my domain? Remember doing domain? Yes? Okay. All right. I think if we do that now y'all can do, let me look and see if there's anything on here I want to go over. You can do all this.
Our quiz.
Yes, I know, you got to do your quiz, but I'm making sure I've covered everything so that y'all can actually work. Okay, we are good. Turning off the notes.